Hello everyone, this is Nimish and today I will review the movie O Kadhal Kanmani or OK Kanmani starring Dulquer Salmaan and Nithya Menon, directed by the legendary Mani Ratnam and music also by another legend, A.R. Rahman. Now, before I do this review, let me tell you the reason I'm doing this review is because I am following Dulquer Salmaan. I watched his Charlie. That's the first movie of his that I watched, and I reviewed it on my channel. I hope you guys got a chance to check that out. Um, so I'm following all his movies, and I only think it's fair to review each and every movie of his as I watch it, so that maybe you guys get an insight into what I think of Dulquer Salmaan and every movie of his. So it's like a track record for Dulquer Salmaan that, in fact, since he's a new actor that I've started watching, I might as well do the reviews. Anyway, moving on. I watched this movie on my Netflix with subtitles because it was easily available. I just want to clarify that no one recommended this movie to me, which is a good thing because some of the things that I might analyze in this review might actually make sense to everyone, unlike what would happen if all of y'all recommended a movie to me and I actually didn't enjoy it as much. You probably have guessed which way I'm going right now, so let's directly begin with the review. So this movie is essentially a love story about two people who don't want to fall in love and get married and just want to be independent for the rest of their lives. And obviously they fall in love and the movie ends with them getting married. Let's first begin with the good parts. The acting by both the lead actors and Prakash Raj is brilliant. It is very natural, especially Prakash Raj and his wife. They acted extremely well and they were actually the main, point or the soul of the movie. So they acted very naturally and gave the movie the emotional and sensible aspect that it deserved. Dulquer Salmaan and Nithya Menon were extremely natural. In fact, I like Nithya Menon's acting a thousand times better than Dulquer Salmaan's in this movie. She is fantastic, and this is the first movie of hers too, which I have watched. So it's great to know that we have some really good female actors in the industry. The movie is directed by Mani Ratnam, and throughout the movie, there is a very upbeat, peppy, I would say, is the best word to describe it. Peppy feeling to the movie. It's very trendy, very new, something differently made and edited with different kind of a look to it. And of course, the music helps a lot to keep up the peppiness of the movie. So, all in all, it's a kind of a refreshing approach to filmmaking, and that's really good. But what problems I have with the movie are not to do with the acting or the music or the direction. It's actually something to do with the writing. So, technically, let's get into the analysis of the writing. One thing which disturbed me throughout the movie, literally disturbed me, was the fact that the workplace environments of both these people, their careers, are not depicted very well. Here's why. First scene, in one of the first few scenes, they show Dulquer Salmaan convincing his boss or telling his boss how to design the game in a very long scene and how the game will end up. And the boss gets very happy and tells him you have 6 weeks to do it. That's a pretty long scene and an important one. And it gets me thinking that this guy has 6 weeks to go and let's see what happens. Maybe he'll meet the deadline or not. But immediately from the next scene, that track of his career and designing the game is completely sidetracked. And he, for the rest of the movie, follows the girl and runs behind her. He even goes to Ahmedabad randomly and is never shown enough as a working individual in the office. Why is that important? Because they showed such a big scene of him designing the game and having 6 weeks to do it. I think it's important to put in a couple of more scenes where he's shown to be working rather than just running around the place. Now, some of you may argue that he's a creative individual who works from home because he has to just design the game on his laptop. That too is not shown, and neither is he shown carrying his laptop whenever he's going to random places. Nothing is shown except two scenes where one, a small girl comes to his place and they are playing the game, which means the game is ready. So I don't know what 6 weeks is required for, but anyway, that's not important. And secondly, he's at the office at one point where he kills the villain in the game, which is basically the boss, and they are just playing the game and they kill the villain, and then that's that. So they are probably perfecting the game, but the if you show an office scene which is pretty long, like 2 or 3 minutes long at the start, and you say you have 6 weeks to do it, then I think it's important to show a couple of scenes where he's actually working on it and not just running behind the girl throughout the movie like he has no job whatsoever. In fact, he often ends up at her workplace and calls her out randomly, just calls her out for coffee or to just go somewhere or to bunk, take a sick leave, as if there is absolutely nothing else to do in this world. And that's a little disturbing because it's not a perfect description of work environments. Again, now you may argue that Nithya Menon is an interior designer, an architect in a creative office, and they don't need to be at the workplace so much. But I don't think that's a fair description. If she can just leave anytime whatsoever, randomly, just run out of the office without even telling anyone, if she can just take a sick leave at any point, all these things are pretty vague, I feel, and are not fair to the writing. If the focus of the movie, as most of you may think, was the love story, it was not about what they work, it was just about the love story, then the workplaces should not have been shown at all. They should have just said that, yeah, we're working here, we're working there. But if you give us some details about your workplaces and what your projects are at the workplace and your deadlines, then I think it's only fair to follow it up through the movie. So that's a writing issue which I thought could have been addressed better, but I know most of you might not look at it as a very important aspect of the movie. The second problem which I have with the movie is one particular story, or should I say subplot, about him disappearing over the weekend, and till the end of the movie actually we don't really know what happened. First, he lies to her blatantly at a very posh hotel restaurant and says that I had gone to your home place, your mom called a private jet, I saw all your factories, etc., etc. He tells that. Then, when she checks with the mom, he says, oh no, no, I just, checked it on Skype, relax, I didn't go anywhere, I was here. Then he says, I was in jail for the weekend. He doesn't say why, and on at the same time the mom says, why would I put him in jail? I was just doing a background check, there was no reason to put him in jail. And even if she did, that's really stupid because there's no reason to put someone in jail for a background check. So he says, I was in jail and then I was let out and the commissioner gave me food and he's my friend, so don't worry about it. This is very unclear. Now, what makes it even more unclear is that initially Nithya Menon's ex-boyfriend wanted her for the money. So at this point I feel, as a viewer, that he's a liar. He said three different things about why he was not there on the weekend. So maybe there's a nice twist there about how he too wants money and how he too is not a very straight or pure lover, because at the party scene, which was also a very confusing scene, the party held after the game launch, he's dancing with his other female friend and he looks in a very suspicious way to Nithya Menon. Like it was a look of disgust or just like some random serious look. And then he tells his friend, this is my biggest mistake, etc. So the whole depiction is very weird for that couple, that subplot, and that area of the movie. It's probably the third act. That area of the movie gets really weird where random questions starts flying, in my mind as to what exactly is going on with Dulquer Salmaan. He's not very open. He's not been working too hard on his project. He knows about the money, but he says he doesn't know. He says he was in jail. He says he was on Skype. We really don't know what's going on. So it was, and there is no conclusion to it. There is no clarity given by the end of the movie as to where exactly he was for those week 2 3 days. Again, some of you may say that's not important, but I think it's really important because a lot of time was wasted on where he was for those 2 3 days. There was probably, she was missing him a lot, she wanted to find out, she goes to all the places to look for him. So a lot of time was wasted on where he was and we've still not been given clarity enough. Now since I watched it with subtitles, maybe the subtitles weren't perfect enough, so I didn't get the point, but I really think that it should have been depicted more clearly if it was done so in this manner. Now, here's what I think might have happened, because the movie is made by Mani Ratnam with Dulquer Salmaan, Nithya Menon, Prakash Raj. I don't think these facts that I addressed have been overlooked by them, because if these questions come in my mind, I'm sure it comes in their mind. So maybe they cut some scenes out in the editing table, which is why there's some kind of lack of clarity and there's some kind of a weirdness to the flow of the movie. So that's probably why it happened, because they probably felt it's not important to show us some scenes, but it ends up that I feel if they had shot it, then they should have shown it in the movie. So, and but the movie is the final product, so there's no excuses for what they wrote or what they could have shown or what they should have shown. So that's the fault or the problem with the writing that I have with this movie. But of course, if you guys just look at it as a simple love story and you don't want to think too much about it, then it is an entertaining movie. Definitely. It does not bore you at any point. It's entertaining, it's fun. You can just chill out on your couch and watch it on your Netflix or wherever you're watching it. So it's overall a pretty decent movie, but it could have been better if the writing was more specific and complete, because I feel there's a lot of loopholes in the script. And I feel so even more because I watched Charlie, which was almost perfect. The minor details in Charlie was written to perfection and impressed me so much that I thought Dulquer Salmaan movies are always going to be well written. So I was disappointed with OK Kanmani because I came from Charlie. OK Kanmani, I think, released before Charlie for you guys, so that's great. But it went the other way for me. An additional point of observation is that Dulquer Salmaan smiles a lot, which is a good thing for him. It's very healthy. But in Charlie, he was justified if he was laughing, smiling, doing whatever he was doing. But in this movie, there was no reason for him to smile. If you just watch the movie again and compare how much he smiles compared to Nithya Menon, you could probably guess that Nithya Menon is a much better actor when it comes to this. So I don't know why he's smiling in this movie, but I hope that there is a movie where he's not smiling. I really want to watch a movie where he's not smiling, just, just serious. I want to see that because I've seen two back-to-back movies where he's just smiling a lot, and I hope he doesn't do that in all his movies. I hope you like this reaction and review. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and keep watching for more reviews. Thank you.